I found, let's see if I can do this. Not that. I didn't find that. There. I found the 10 traits of a successful hero. Hey, Jaime, how you doing? I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Always wanted to do that. Here they are: courage, passion, integrity, honesty, confidence, patience, selflessness, caring, humility, and supportive. You notice there's no cape, boots, super hammer, superpowers, anything like that. But all of these traits are things that we individuals could inspire to. But they're also all traits that are reflective of our Spotlight Member of the Month, Patrick Carter. Classification, community, and human services. And I'm sure you'll agree that she is a hero as soon as you hear her story. Now, Patrick has survived many challenges in her life and should be applauded for using these challenges to help strengthen her as opposed to defining her. There we go. Okay, now Patrick was born in El Campo, Texas. Here she is, successfully graduating kindergarten. Go, Patrick. Her mother, Darlene, was a teenage mother, and although not married to Patrick's father, Gerald, he did stay in touch with Patrick throughout her life. Patrick has 3 other siblings, 2 sisters, and a brother. Now, even though the siblings did not share a common father, they considered each other to be one family. Patrick's mother moved to California to start work at the VA hospital there. Patrick and her older sister and younger brother stayed in Texas to be raised by her grandparents. Her younger sister was later born in California. Now, in Texas, Patrick grew up with a front row seat to segregation. Blacks and whites were separated at schools, restaurants, bathrooms, theaters, everywhere. That was just the way it was. And Patrick felt a security with their Black friends and other Black families. But that security was soon to be upended. When Patrick was 12 years old, her mother sent for the 3 children to join her and their younger sister in California, as her job at the VA was going very well. Patrick grew up in a very different world, as the California lifestyle was far more segregated than she was used to in Texas. And at 14, Patrick was diagnosed with epilepsy, something she has learned to live with her entire life. Patrick attended Milpitas High School, a mostly white school with a sprinkling of Black students. And Patrick felt very vulnerable in this new environment. She felt exposed. And since she was living in a mostly white neighborhood, she saved up her money to buy a car just so she could go visit her Black friends. Although challenging, Patrick did survive. She never quit, and she graduated. In fact, Patrick was the first in her family, including her siblings, to graduate high school. And while in high school, Patrick had an internship with Bank of America, and she decided a career in banking might be the perfect fit for her. But as fate will have it, things don't always work out as we plan. Not long after high school, Patrick got pregnant and became a teenage mother herself. And the birth was difficult. After giving birth to her son, Zachary, Patrick fell into a coma for 5 days. Doctors were not sure if she was going to come out of it, but she did. Not long after, she came to Seattle to visit her mother, who now worked at the Seattle VA hospital. Patrick just fell in love with the area, and she decided to stay and raise her son here. She went to work at AT&T as a long-distance operator. Here she is. Look at that. The afro, black coffee in a styrofoam cup. And believe it or not, for those young people here in the room with those gorgeous dreads, and that's called a handset. Used to work with a telephone, That wasn't the job for her, so she went back to banking with a name from the past for many of us, Rainier Bank. And during this time, Patrick was challenged again with her son, Zachary got very sick. He was suffering from fluid on the brain. He stayed at Children's Hospital for over a month, and luckily, all went well. Today, Zachary is 44 years old and thriving here in Seattle. Patrick held it together during this period, and after a couple of other banking jobs, she was recruited by KeyBank to be the branch manager of the new branch in the Central District. Patrick thrived in her leadership position. She was a pioneer in creating the first in-store banking branch in a local Safeway. And in 1991, Patrick welcomed her second child, giving birth to a daughter named Jasmine. Jasmine is here today to celebrate the well-deserved recognition her mother is receiving. Thank you for being here today, Jasmine. Yeah. Her son, Zachary, has since given Patrick 2 grandchildren who she loves and adores. But one thing, Patrick saw the difficult childhood many kids experience growing up in the Central District, and that brought the Boys and Girls Club to her attention. The Boys and Girls Club give children a chance for stability and growth. In fact, there are 4 pillars of focus for the Boys and Girls Club: character and leadership skills, sports, academics, career guidance. She became a board member of the Boys and Girls Club in the late 90s. The Rotary Club reached out to her and asked her to apply for the newly open executive director position. And you know what? She did. She applied for it, but she didn't get it. Fortunately, the position became open again after a short time later. And after much pleading by an executive at the Boys and Girls Club, she applied again. And in 2000, Patrick Carter became the executive director of the Boys and Girls Club. There she is. And in 2002, Patrick joined the Rotary Club of Seattle. For the last 20 years, she's been a very active member. She was a Seattle Rotary Board member twice. She served as a VP of membership. Currently, she's on the Classification and Program Committee. And just a few years ago, Patrick was promoted to the position of Area Director for Boys and Girls Club. And now she oversees 4 separate clubs. You know, just challenges in life seem a common occurrence for Patrick. In 2021, she suffered a heart attack that luckily has left her with no permanent damage. And when you see all these challenges that Patrick has faced, it's no surprise how much she values family. To her, time with family is her favorite pastime. To me, she is a hero in how she's approached all these challenges. For example, her epilepsy is something she controls and she refuses to let it control her. And after all she's been through, 2 things keep her going beyond her family. Self-care, very important. And number 2, Patrick, to her, every day is a blessing. I have to say, Patrick Carter, you are also a blessing. Fellow Rotarians, I give you our May 2023 Rotary Spotlight member, Patrick Carter, Classification, Human and Community Services. There you go. Well deserved, Patrick.